There we go. All right, what's going on, guys? Hopefully you're all doing well, having yourselves a very, very fantastic day. My name is Jason Joseph. This, of course, is Play-by-Play with JJ. We're on for an Eagles reaction. All right, today is the big day. Today we have a very, very huge day. Oh my gosh, we have a lot to talk about. We're going to be reacting to Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman speaking. We're actually going to play the audio, and we're going to do a live reaction to everything. So I'm getting everything set up as we speak. I just got home, but yeah, man. So I think today's a really big day. We might start off a little bit late. I don't think that I'm looking at NBC Sports Philadelphia to see if they have the stream set up yet. Usually they're late anyways to the press conference. All right, so it's live now. All right, we have this. Okay, now we can just mute that. Oh boy, but yeah. So we are going to be reacting to this. We're going to be looking at Howie Roseman and of course Nick Sirianni and just hear what they have to say. And we're going to go stop by stop, and we're just going to try to react to some certain things. I'm really not going to try to pause it too much, but if I have stuff to say, I'm going to get it off my chest, man. That's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to get things off of our chest because now's the day. Today is the big day where we need to see the media be on their A game. I need Howard Cassell. I need Howard Eskin. Almost said Howard Cassell. I need Howard Eskin to really ask tough questions today to Nick and Howie too, because now Howie's offseason is on the line too, because if they bring back Nick, they're really going to have to find ways to just work around that. You know what I mean? We don't want toss-up questions. We want the media to go out there and ask certain things that fans want to know. Okay, and if Nick comes out with an attitude, I think, again, it wouldn't shock me, but I'm just saying that that's not really a good look at all whatsoever. I need them to be very concise, and I need the media to really step up. The types of questions that we want to talk about, the offensive coordinating, okay? Have you thought about, have you thought twice about the decision of taking Sean Desai out of the play calling duties for the defensive play calling and putting in Matt Patricia? Would you have gone back and reflected on that? We want those types of questions. And then we want to talk about the future, because we don't just want to reflect on the past. The most important thing that the media needs to do today is talk about the future and ask those questions and follow up, okay? If Howie or if Nick are not really diving in deep, go the extra mile. They have to go the extra mile, because that's called the media doing their job. I love our media. I think our members of the media do such an incredible job with all the 4 big sports, 5 if you want to include in the Philadelphia Union for sure. But they really have to step up today and have to ask the tough questions. That's all I got to say. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are down below. I don't want toss-up questions since Denbrew. I am totally with you. I am 1,000% with you. And again, we're going to be playing this audio. We're going to be stopping, and we're going to be continuing to go. But make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notification bell icons, and that way you'll know when I go live for Eagles content, for Sixers content, for Flyers content, and for Phillies content. What's up, Daniel? How you doing, man? Thanks so much for coming on here. Somebody says, Edwin says in the chat for NBC Sports, I have to shout out NBC Sports for letting us use this, but ready for all meaningless stats that they're going to spew out. Okay. I might go off. I might actually yell, because at this point, why not? We got to let it all out. This is us. This is us right now saying goodbye to the season, goodbye to what happened this year. Let's focus on getting ready for next year. That's the mindset of today. Goodbye to 2023. Hello to the fall of 2023. 2024 season. Oh, man. They're still not live yet? What the heck's going on? I hope that they are going to start soon. What do you guys expect out of today? Are you guys expecting anything big? Do you think that something crazy is going to happen as the press conference is going? That's what I want to know. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that this was a little bit off. The biggest stat is that the screenplay stat, I want them to tell me why that was so bad. I would like to know, okay, if I was running this press conference, I'd be asking all these questions. But I'm not doing that. And that's why we need Howard. We really need Howard to step up today. And I know that I've been listening to Howard's radio show. I love what he does. He puts blame a lot of the time on the coaching, but he's more worried about the players, and he puts more emphasis on Jalen Hurts. And I'm not saying Jalen Hurts and the players are at fault, because they obviously are. But when you watch the games, when you're watching it up close, and you're seeing how these plays are being run, that's not on Jalen. It really is not. Yes, if he doesn't decide to go with the play call, you know what he's going to do? Then there's going to be a lot of drama, and that's the thing. And some people might call me irrational for saying those types of things, but that's the truth. So play calling needs to be addressed today, and the future of this team. Howie's also going to have a very big offseason when it comes to drafting. I would love him to kind of talk about some people that maybe he'd be looking for. I mean, I know he can't say specifically who he would be looking for, but maybe a position, because I believe that they need to go after somebody in the secondary that has to be addressed early in the draft next year, because this secondary sucks. It's just how it goes, man. The secondary sucks, and I'm hoping that they let go of, oh my gosh, why am I blanking out his name? I'm hoping that they let go of James Bradbury, because he cannot guard anybody. He cannot stay on top of anybody. So secondary needs to be addressed. This draft this year, it's going to be big. They need to address all these positions, and they have to address the holes. And I don't know what they're going to do. All right, so I don't want to hear soft questions from the media about. I want to hear what went wrong this year, and would you do anything different? I'd like to reflect a little bit on the year, but I want this to be more of just a time where we're talking about the future. We're talking about what's coming next season. Okay, why did you make the hires that you did at offensive coordinator? And those types of things. Why was Brian Johnson let go? What did you say to him? That's fine, but has to be more about the future, man. Need all the media to step up, says Denbrew. Again, if you are just tuning in, my name is Jason Joseph. This is Play-by-Play with JJ. Please comment your thoughts down below. We're live. We're reacting to the press conference that's supposed to start at 2:30. It's already 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. This is another reason why I wanted to kind of start a little bit late. But again, thanks to NBC Sports for letting us play the audio. I'm not going to show the video. I think that the audio, of course, is more important, but I definitely have the caption up here. I probably should actually highlight this, and I will do that right now. So let's make sure that we do that. Excuse me. How do we do this? Filters, background. Is it background color? Effect filters. How do we do that? Why am I blanking out on how to do that? But, yeah, man. Crazy stuff. What else do you guys want to hear today from the media, okay? If I were to ask you, okay, what types of questions are you going to be asking to Nick Sirianni and to Howie Roseman straight up? Write them down. Write them down. Write them down right now. That's what I want to know. First question is, why do you think this season was a failure? That would be my first question. But what would you ask? What would you ask Nick? What would you ask Howie? Sports Radio 94 WIP just tweeted out delayed. Yeah, no duh. No duh that it's delayed. If they cancel this, I'm just going to say this right now. If they cancel this, this is going to be so frustrating. Unless, what if it just so happens that Sirianni gets fired right before the press conference? What if that happens? By the way, can you guys hear me loud and clear? Let me know down below. Let me know down below. All right. I can't seem to figure out how to change this from OBS. Just about to say hi, says Go Bird Gang. Thanks for coming on here, man. So if you do you have any what question would you ask Nick Sirianni today and Howie Roseman? All right, that's the question. That is what I want to know. Whoops. Can you hear me? I think that I was pressing a button by accident. Sorry, I pressed a button by accident. How do I? Oh. I pressed the bell icon. Adam Schefter just tweeted that quote that Deebo Samuel did not practice today, and the status for Sunday's NFC Championship game remains uncertain. Okay, well, I don't really care about that. All I care about today is saying goodbye to this season and focusing on the future of this franchise. And that's what we're going to find out today. The media needs to be on their A game. They need to make sure that they do a good job at just being stubborn. And we need the Howard. Oh my gosh, we need the Howard Eskins in the room. Why do I keep thinking Howard Cosell? I keep thinking of Howard Cosell and Howard Stern. Come on, I'm still waking up. Come on, man, you got to do something. Got the mocha frappuccino from Starbucks because I am fired up. And I am wearing my Eagles jersey. You know why I'm wearing the Eagles jersey today, guys? Because I believe in the media today. I'm doing this to represent the fans. I'm wearing the hat to represent the fans and to represent the city of brotherly love, the blue-collar mentality, because we have every right to figure out what the problems were with this team, and we have the right to declare for answers, guys. We have the right to declare for answers. And if they don't give us any, then it tells you right there that that's the future. Here we go. Here's a question. I like this one. Let's see. There we go. Denver says, why was it when they were 10-1? Okay. Let's do this. Can we resize this? No. I guess we can only do it from here. Why was it when they were 10-1, you were still saying that they need to clean things up and it never happened? All right, so that's question number one. I like that one. And then a follow-up would be, what do you think caused the collapse? Okay. That are some of the questions that I would ask, says Denbrew. I think that those are very good questions. I think that they are very valid. And I would not be mad if people ask these questions. But, again, we'll just have to wait and see. What the heck is the holdup, bro? Just start the press conference. Please. Can they, tell us, what's going on? And if they can't, I understand because I work in media, so they're... But, I mean... It's just what the heck is the holdup? I'm sure that they have busy lives, but I want to hear the press conference. This said 2:30. That's all I want to know. I want to know about A.J. Brown. I want to know about what the future holds for him. That's all I want to know. That's a good question because I don't know what to make of that whole situation. How are you going to keep him happy? What's been going on? How's your relationship been with A.J. Brown and the rest of the wide receiving core? Those are good questions. Does Jason Kelce and if Jason Kelce is retiring, is it going to be? Are you going to try to address offensive line at the draft? I hope they keep Swift, currently a free agent. I do too, man. I think that would be great. I just think he was in the wrong system, bro. I really do. Sorry if I'm being a little bit, I don't want to say quiet, but if it sounds like I'm distracted, I'm just waiting for this press conference because I want to hear it, man. I really want to hear it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you guys like and subscribe and turn on those notification bell icons, and that way you'll know when I upload. If you're on Facebook or if you're on Twitch or Twitter, please come on over to YouTube, and that way you can be able to comment down below and I will get to your thoughts and to your questions. If you guys also want to donate to the channel, you can feel free to hit that super chat button, or you can also click on the Linktree icon, which is in the description, and you should be able to, to find my PayPal or my Venmo. So that's taking care of the housekeeping stuff. Somebody said in the chat it's delayed because Howie and Nick are in a meeting. But again, it's not a source. We should have Twitter live on our phone. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Eagles Nation just said, quote, imagine they just walk out the press conference with whoever our new offensive coordinator / defensive coordinator is like a gender reveal party. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's actually wild that they tweeted that out. That's crazy. While we're waiting, guys, just a heads up as to what's coming on. We will get to the other press conference that occurred today with the Flyers and the state of where they are right now, and we will talk about Carter Hart, and we will talk about what was addressed today during that meeting. So that's something else that I do want to let you guys know. And then we're going to have another Sixers podcast because I still have more to say about Doc Rivers. I still have more to say about this team. And plus injuries. We got injury updates on the Sixers. So I know that the Sixers have been the hot topic, and I've been doing a whole lot of Sixers content because they're the hot team and they're just, I'd say, Philadelphia's team right now. And that's really why I've been doing it. But I want to catch up on the Flyers and the other teams. I don't even know if I'll have time to do baseball today. I really don't. Yeah, I missed the Flyers press conference. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I think that what we'll do is we'll do like a live replay of everything that was said, and I will kind of do the same thing. Maybe not. I might just like skim through like over quotes that were said and try to actually watch it beforehand, and then try to give my actual thoughts and words, if you will. That might be what I try to do. But yeah, so later today, you got, the Philly Talk podcast is up over here. Nice. I'm going to actually comment. Philly Take with RB's on here. Yo, guys. Whoa, bro, everybody's partying here. It's not just me. Holy moly, we got a lot of other content creators on here. We need the media to be on their A game. Yep, that's the other thing. I don't even know if I'll have time to talk about that today, but I have my thoughts about Rhys Hoskins, and I have my thoughts that I would like to give on the Phillies offseason. I might just have to do it tomorrow. Philly Take. Oh, yeah, with RB is there. Okay. Oh, are we starting? Yes? No? This is coming up soon. Media is never on their A game, says Eric. Well, they have to be on their A game today. That's what he commented in the chat. In the NBC chat. Nope, they're not starting just yet. Okay, I thought that they were going to start. Relive Embiid's 70-point game tonight at 6:30. Okay, so they are starting, I guess. Why did they change the graphic, though? What's going on? I'm so confused. Hurry up and wait, says Larry. He says he doesn't have all the time in the world. They have a picture of an Embiid graphic. Relive Embiid's 70-point game tonight at 6:30. Can we get started? And now they changed the graphic again. Back to the Sirianni and Roseman press conference coming up soon. It's supposed to start at 2:30. You guys are 20 minutes late, please. It's not even funny. But yeah, today is the day where we say goodbye to the birds. We say goodbye to this year. and we get to figure out what the future is. So, again, I have my clothes on because I believe in the media, and I want to do this for the fans. Why do they keep changing graphics? What the heck is going on? Apple attack. Stream Elements keeps showing up for review each time the bot comments for some reason, JJ. I don't know if you knew that or not. Yeah, I'm going with Botrix, my guy. Botrix is... I appreciate you telling me that because I haven't seen Stream Elements... Is it Stream Elements or is it Botrix? Because I haven't seen anything from Stream Elements on here, and I got rid of that bot. I thought I did at least, but maybe not. But what's up, dude? Jeff Mosher. John McMullen tweeted this out. Okay, so this was let's pull this up right now. He replied. So John McMullen said, "The wait is on, #Eagles," and he shows an empty room in the press conference room. And then Jeff Mosher replied, "Must be a wicked game of horse going on between Nick and Howie." I'm gonna pull this up right now. All right, let's make sure that I can get this. All right, where's my window capture, baby? Where is my window capture? All right, here, we're going to go to this part. Okay, display capture. Where is it? There it is. We'll resize this and make it bigger for you guys to see it. It's crazy. This was tweeted out 5 minutes ago, guys, by John McMullen. Crazy. I think what I'll do is I'll actually put myself right over here. Sorry if your eyes get a little bit thrown off. I kind of like it better over here. Okay. Stream Elements in the chat, and Botrix is trying to block. Okay. All right, so Stream Elements is in the chat. Thanks for letting me know because I don't see these things over on the Ninja chat. So thanks for, honestly, letting me know about these things. I'm really happy that you're doing that. All right, so while we're waiting, again, if you are on here, I want you to write down questions that you would ask Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni today if they address the media. I saw that we had some really cool questions from, or really logistic questions, I should say, from Denbrew and a couple other people. But if you're going to talk to Howie, what do you say? Actually, you know what I'll do? Until this actually starts, all right? What we'll do is we'll open up Discord, and you guys can come on here, and you guys can give your thoughts. I was going to do this after the game. They every time they keep switching the graphics. They go back to Joel Embiid's reliving of the 70-point game at 6:30. Bro, every time they just keep switching graphics on the screen. See, here's what the screen looks like, guys. This is right here what the screen looks like, and now I have to resize this. Where is it? Every time. This is literally like what the screen looks like. Okay, see, now they change it back. They keep changing it back. And forth. And back. And forth. And back. There we go. Okay. Hang tight, the press conference is delayed, it says, Wall. Wait, what was that graphic that just came up? There was a little, lower third. Who did they highlight? They must be using StreamYard or something. Mr. Lurie. Let's pull that up. Look, they highlighted this comment. Mr. Lurie trade A.J. Brown and slasher Jalen Hurts for Kenny Pickett and Jalen Warden. They put that up for literally half a second. John Scott. Oh my gosh. Oh, talk about a mistake. Talk about a mistake. That's crazy. It's nutty that they keep doing that. It's ridiculous, bro. NBC Sports is messing with our emotions. It's just sad, bro. All right, what we'll do is we'll open up Discord right now, and until we get a live thing, we'll have Discord up over here onto this screen. It will have it on display too, and we'll start our live event, okay? And then I'm going to stop once we are actually live and getting ready to literally do this. So we'll create the event. We'll start a stage, and we'll call it Eagles Press Conference. Now it's time to promote the Sixers again. Oh, wait, I didn't press... I'm sorry. I forgot to press play. Okay. Still nothing. All right, Eagles. I paused it because I wanted to take a picture of that, or I wanted to have some sort of capture of that. So we'll set this for... What time is it now? It's 2:56, so we'll set this for 3 o'clock. For today, and we'll create the event. All right, so hop on into the Discord. I want you guys to come on, give your thoughts, and come on here. We're not talking about the Sixers. We're not talking about any other sports team. This right here is specifically focused on this press conference. You're going to come on here. You're going to ask me, or you're going to say to me what you're going to ask Howie and Nick if you were a part of the media right now, because we need to encourage them, and we need to make sure that we get everybody on the same page. So I'm starting it right now. Come on here, give your thoughts, and then I'm sorry to cut you off, but if this starts, I got to go, and we're just going to be reacting. So, and then we'll probably start off another event too. So you can come on here, you can give your thoughts, and I want to know what you want to say. Larry says, I'd ask whose decision it was to fire the coordinators and who was the final say over the new hires. I would like to know why, if Sean Desai is still there, if you demoted him from his job from play calling, man, if you demoted him, why was he still there? Why? Why was he still there? What was the point of him still being there? Why did they do it when they did it, right? And would they have done anything different looking back on that? Again, you can come onto the Discord, and give me your thoughts and ask questions that you would ask to Howie and Nick. And then after the press conference is done, if it even comes, all right, then we'll be getting post-press reactions. Okay? That's how it is. All right, we'll post the Discord right now. Let's do that. What I should do is next time what I'll do is I will make sure that I have a copy and a paste or a copy of the Discord itself. So that way it's a lot easier for me to just highlight different types of stuff. No, Desai was gone, yes, but I'm saying that during week 16 or week 14, Desai was not the play caller anymore on the defensive side. But he was still with the team. If he's not calling the defensive plays and now he's up in the booth, what's his purpose of being there? And I'm not saying that it was the right decision to demote him, because I think that they should have stuck with him. He's better than Matt Patricia. And now the other thing that you're doing, and with all due respect, even though I'm not a big fan of Matt Patricia, Philly Halftime told me the other day, he said, JJ, you can't learn a defensive playbook literally in the span of a week. You know how much time it takes? And he's right. 1,000% right. Come on, man. Someone quotes me to Jeff Kerr about the empty podium, saying like the Eagles for the last 7 weeks of the season, they didn't show up. Oh, bro. Let's go back to some of these other tweets. Where is it? Right here. There was one thing that I wanted to show about Broads. What did Broads say? Broads said something. Where is it? I can't seem to find it. Jiva Newts is here. What's up, Jiva Newts? How you doing, my guy? We're waiting for this press conference to start. If you want to come on and give your thoughts about the Eagles, you can totally do that, man. But, again, I have to cut you off. If this press conference starts and we're still talking, then I do have to get going. But yeah, come on. You know how to do it if you want to. I don't want to put you on the spot. No one is steering the ship. Not one person, Larry. No one is steering that ship. Again, if you are new, make sure you guys like and subscribe and turn on those notification bell icons, and that way you'll know when I go live or if I upload. I had this on mute. Oh, that's why, because they keep playing this music, and I don't want to hear this music and have that on in the background because I'm going to get sick of it. So I do have to keep this up because I won't be able to hear anything in case they do go live. All right, Discord. Wanted to make sure I copied and pasted that. So what we'll do is we'll type in our LINKTREE, linktree.com. Okay, and we'll do Discord server. We'll copy and paste. How do we copy? Copy and paste. There we go. All right. Join the Discord server if you guys want to come on and give your thoughts about the Eagles. All right. Oh, never mind. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, never mind. All right, we're going to end this. Can you guys hear this?
Appreciate everyone's patience. Just wanted to walk through why we're here a little bit later than normal. Played Monday night.
This is how we speak.
Game ended Tuesday. I think we left locker room Tuesday morning. And just looking around the locker room, at our players, as our staff, felt like there was a kind of sadness about the way the season ended. There was kind of a shell-shock feeling that was going on. And I think what we do a good job of is kind of communicating, figuring out the reasons for things, how we can get better. And so we gave everyone Tuesday off. And then Coach and I and our coaches met with all our players. We had exit interviews. That lasted for a couple of days. Obviously, the snowstorm on Friday. So a lot of people were out of the office. The office was closed. And then we went into the weekend and, like we do, try to figure out a plan to get better. So
hold up 1 sec. Can you guys hear this like loud and clear? I want to make sure that you guys can hear this. Sorry, I wanted to pause because I just want to make sure that you guys can hear this. Let me know, or give me a thumbs up down below if you guys can hear it, and if it's good. All right, good. Okay.
I apologize for kind of the delay, and we're here now.
It was Howie.
Sure. Yeah. We evaluated our season at the end of the year. Obviously, are going to be in constant evaluation of this. We did what we thought was best at that time, at the time, and I can't say enough good things about Brian though. He's a great football coach, and he's going to have another opportunity to lead an offense, and I will miss him. Some of the things that we want to do as a team is grow in a lot of different areas, grow in some of the guys that have been in here with me have been there with me for a while. So it's about coming up with fresh ideas and doing some things different. And that's exactly where we are right now. And sometimes, Brian being, at that position, unfortunately, he's the one that is leaving at this particular time. But I can't tell you how much I appreciate him as a coach. We've had a lot of success here in the past 3 years, and Brian's contributed a lot to that. But like I said, it's now about bringing in fresh ideas, some different thoughts than what a lot of the guys. Sometimes when you're with a group of guys, like we've been together for 3 years, that group of guys. But in addition to that, it was a couple of the other guys that I've been with for multiple years as well. And so we just wanted to bring in some fresh ideas, and that's where we are with that.
With those fresh ideas, Nick, how willing are you to change some of the structure of your offense if you see fit?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you're saying, exactly what we're talking about. So, it's just about putting the players in the best positions to succeed, but and doing things differently at times too. But there's going to be things that whoever the new coordinator is, there's going to be things that they bring that are going to be fresh ideas for us to help our players grow and help our players play at the top level. And there's been some things that we've done really well on offense too in the past that that you'll mesh in some of that together as well. I think with some of the success that we've had these last 3 years and the things that our guys do well, and so I'm excited about that. The new ideas meshing with some of the old ideas. We'll see how that continues to go as we go through our off-season process and where we land with that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, when you get to me, we got a little bit stale on offense by the end, at the end of the year, and these ideas and this new person coming in is meant to take away the staleness and add the value of what they're adding to the offense.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna pause that right there for a second because there's a couple things because you guys can't see this, and I really don't want to show this. So this is Nick Sirianni speaking. All right. In case you are tuning in, we are like reacting to the live press conference. We're pausing a couple of times just to kind of like piggyback some thoughts about what he's saying. I will say that with the way that he is sitting at the desk, he looks stressed. He looks absolutely stressed, and the body language that he's given me looks like I think that something's going on. I think that he probably knows that his job is on the line, and I don't really hear, even though he talks a lot, if you listen to his diction, he's stumbling. He keeps using a lot of filler words. And for him, that's not usually how things are. So he looks like he is just absolutely stressed and the whole world is on his shoulders. And that's how it should be. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly how it should be. But just the body language and just the diction and just the tone and the speech, he sounds like he's tired. He sounds very stressed. And the body language, there's not a lot of body gestures, like hand gestures. Those things matter. And those aren't little things because he's a very outspoken person, and he is somebody that usually always comes up with an answer, except over the last 4 weeks. And now he sees that, man, things can really turn around when the team is just playing so bad. All right? Yes, he sounds weak for sure. For sure. All right, let's continue to go with this. And media, come on, man. Ask the tough questions.
It'll be your scheme, and you'll have final authority on what is run.
Yeah, it's our scheme. It will be our scheme of what we're doing. And so again, I don't know exactly what that will look like yet, right? We're bringing in a guy to bring in new ideas, to do the things that he's done in the past. We're going through an extensive search to get that right person. But it'd be crazy not to add some of the things that we've done in the past here as well. I don't know if it's going to be 95% this, 90. We're not there yet, right? We're working on getting the best guy in here for the job, and a guy who has a vision, a guy who's going to call the plays, a guy who's going to be able to coach the quarterback in the same sense there. So it's just about getting the right guy, and then we'll decide where that goes. But I'm hiring him to do a job and to be in charge of the offense.
Okay, he just said, quote, "We'll decide where that goes." The writing's on the wall, bro. It's on the wall. If it didn't work out this year, why do you have to come up with the final decision? Jeez Louise.
On the defensive side of the ball, what are you looking for in your new defensive coordinator? Are you looking for somebody potentially to be a little bit more aggressive, or are you still married to, the Vic Fangio type scheme that you guys used a couple of years?
Yeah, we're looking for the guy who's best fits who is the best person for the job, right? And that can be, there's many different systems that work. There's many different systems that work well. And we're looking for the guy who's going to be best for the job, that can utilize the skills that our players have, so they can play at their highest level. And so a lot of good candidates there as well. And that's what we're going through right now. As we speak.
Nick, if the offensive coordinator is going to be in charge of the offense and the defensive coordinator is
going to be Hold up 1 sec. I'll backtrack really quickly. But can you guys hear the questions loud and clear? Because these people don't have mics in the audience. And I'm trying to, fade it up over here and then fade it back down. I want to know if it sounds a little bit unbalanced or what it is. So, Again, I'll backtrack.
Well, and that's what we're going through right now, as we speak.
Nick, if the offensive coordinator is going to be in charge of the offense and the defensive coordinator is going to be in charge of the defense, what is your role going to be?
The head coach, the football
What
team.
does that entail? How does it change?
Yeah, I guess it'd be this very similar to what's going on right now. Does that mean I'll sit more into defensive meetings at times? Maybe, right? Instead of always being in an offensive meeting, maybe I go to a defensive meeting here and there. But my job is to be the head coach of the team, not the head coach of the offense, not the head coach of the defense, not the head coach of the special teams, but be the head coach of the football team. And so that's building the culture. That's making sure the culture's, working, with our 5 core values, are taking every day at a time. Like, we're not coming up with new core values. We may shuffle of where the things are that are important and the most important. But that's diving into that, building the culture, having a relationship with the guys on the football team. Because I know when I have that connection with the guys on the football team, that's when things are, that's when the culture is working and working at high level. And then that's where our connection with the players and then their connection with each other works well too.
Wait, just give me 1 second, okay? Did he just say, Jeff McLean did confirm this. He said, quote, "I'll be the head coach much as it's been, may sit in on more defensive meetings." You're telling me that you as the head coach are not even sitting in on defensive meetings, and this team's defense has been getting cooked, and you're not doing anything about it? Come on, man. Jeez. That's basically what he's admitting right there. May sit in on more defensive meetings. I thought I heard that correctly, and I wasn't going to say anything. But geez, my gosh. Bro, what's going on, man? What's your job entail? I guess you don't have an immediate and decisive answer. Come on, man. Jeez. Oh my gosh.
Let me answer a question. Let me take one.
Oh, Howie wants to take an answer. Oh my gosh. Oh, let's see. Oh boy.
Personnel standpoint on defense, where are you as far as how far from being able to field the kind of defense you guys want to field?
Yeah, I think, Ruben, when I think about the contributions I can make to help this team,
that's
a
good question, Ruben Frank.
I'm doing my best, and I have my best seasons. This team has a chance to have its best seasons, and so I hold myself to a very high standard. I think we have a lot of good young players on this team. I think we have the ability to go out and continue to add to that. I'm very excited about the core that we have on offense going forward, obviously. And so in terms of that, our goal every year is to field the best possible team. And, I go back to last year on the Tuesday after we lost the Super Bowl, and Nick walked into my office and he said, "How you doing?" And I said to him, I think the thing that I'm most upset about it is how many good people we're going to lose, on and off the field. And so I knew what was coming. I knew the schedule was going to be harder. I knew that, it was probably easier to get the offense to a place quicker than it was the defense. And, we never want to be just kind of in the middle of the pack in both, And so I feel like a lot of the things that we try to do last off season was kind of try to keep our priorities intact about how we like to build the team. We could talk about that and some of the decisions we make. And, I accept responsibility for whatever we got to do to make sure that when the season falls short of not playing this week and beyond, I'm certainly responsible for that as well.
The defensive line in particular, what do you attribute their underperformance relative to the investment to? And is there anything about the way that the season played out that has sort of changed your roster building philosophy?
Yeah,
I couldn't hear that.
I feel like we've had a long history of success here, building a team a certain way, and I think maybe there's some preconceived notions that we're just at the linebacker position, that we don't care who we play at linebacker, and again, our two Super Bowl teams over the last 6 years, the linebacker play was good, from those guys. And I think, if anything, it's my belief in the players that we have, the young players that we have. I have a lot of belief, and I know Coach does as well, in Nakobe Dean, and so.
Bro, he's always injured, man.
Person, we lost two linebackers at that spot, two good players from our Super Bowl team. And we had Nakobe wait in the wings. We drafted him for that role. Obviously, it didn't work out perfectly for him this year. That doesn't change the belief we have in the player. And then, we felt like we'd have the ability to get an off-ball linebacker, a will linebacker who can run and hit. And honestly, when you watch the tape, Zach Cunningham had a good year. He really did, and he had a mentality.
He's not wrong.
That we liked from that position. Of course, we missed some of the guys that left as free agents. Missed some of the guys on and off the field that we had strong relationships with.
I care more about the secondary.
In the process that led to Sean Desai's demotion.
Good question.
Coach comes to me and tells me kind of what he's thinking. No different than when he decided to give Shane the play calling duty, and he said, "Hey, this is what I'm going to do." I trust him with the coaching staff. That's his responsibility, just like he trusts me with my front office staff, and that's how we're structured here. That's how the relationship works. And I always want to be a supporter for him and a resource. So if he needs me to do something, if he asks me a question, if he asks me an opinion, in a situation like this, he had made up his mind. He had made a decision, and I'm going to support him.
For those people that are saying, literally Howie just answered it right there. For those people that are saying that demoting Sean Desai was a Howie Roseman decision, they're wrong. They're flat out wrong. You heard it in that answer right there, that he just said that he trusts the coaching staff, and I can't really remember the specific quote, but he literally said that he trusts the entire coaching staff. This was a Nick Sirianni decision, okay? And literally throwing him a little bit under the bus, but also trying to save his bacon and be like, yo, like I'm gonna take the questions now. I would love to see what Nick Sirianni's face looks like right now, because he deserves this embarrassment. And man, I'm not like, from a personal standpoint, I know Nick Sirianni's a good guy, but when you're not doing a good job at your job and you're not making changes that you should be making, whether it's before the game or whether it's during the game, that's on you. I still cannot believe that he flat out said, I have to go to more defensive meetings next year. I'm shocked. Jeez Louise. I didn't think I'd get angry, but I'm pretty fired up. This is a different side of JJ.
Do that again, would you do it the same way, like would you replace Sean with Matt again? And I guess whether you would or not, what did you learn from replacing a coordinator, into, I don't know if it was December night, but when you give it 13 games into the season?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, now they go back to Nick, and the question was, in case you didn't hear, would you go back to Sean or would you go back to Matt Patricia from Sean Desai again? And I couldn't really necessarily hear the second part of that question. So now it's going back to Nick. All right, come on, Nick.
Obviously, I understand that anything that I do, make any decision that I make, if it doesn't work out, you can look at it and second guess it. So we are right now. At the time I made that decision, like I've told you guys, I made that decision because I thought it was the best decision that for the team. And obviously we all fell short at the end, at those last 6 weeks of the season. Right?
There's accountability.
And so, I say, obviously Matt was in a tough situation.
Yes.
Because you can't completely change, the defense, right?
Yes.
And so he was, trying to, make some things happen with, quite frankly, things that weren't his defense. So I know I put Matt in a tough spot. I know I put Sean in a tough spot, obviously.
Yep, you did.
But at the time that I did that, I did it because I thought it was the best decision for the football team. And
by the way, I don't mean to cut you off, Nick, but you weren't even attending meetings on the defensive side. That's the mind-boggling thing about this. You made a decision during literally week 14. You stuck with it, and you weren't even at these meetings, man. Fell short? You screwed up. Take full accountability, man. This is therapeutic, bro. I'm not going to lie. This is so therapeutic. This is great.
A lot of decisions I have to make like that, whether I go for it on fourth down in certain situations, what our philosophy is in a 4-minute drive at the end of a game. And trust me, every time we do something like that and it doesn't work, I think to myself, what was the best thing? And I can only come back to that answer to you right now is that, and forevermore, that at the time when I did it because I thought it was the best thing for the defense and best thing for the team.
Last year you talked about the vision that you had for the defense, things that you were convicted in, philosophically. I guess, has that shifted as you start this search?
No, I mean, you're always growing as a coach, right? So there's some things that, year in, year out, players that you have, different scenarios you go through can lead to where your visions are and your philosophies are. But, those things are in constant they're evolving at all times. And so are there things that I still believe in, even going through a difficult stretch here like we did? Of course, right? And offense, defense, special teams, how to build, how to lead the team. There's a ton of those things, but I don't think there's any growth unless you look at some things and be critical on yourself and say, okay, well, this was my philosophy here, this was a belief here, and this didn't work out. And sometimes the answer, you look at those things, and sometimes the answer is, no, I still believe in this. And sometimes the answer is, maybe I need to make a adjustment here with that. And so that's the process of just going through it and getting and trying to get better. And so, of course, there's things that I'll be adjusting, but there's still things that there's probably more. You don't just take just a 6-week stretch and say, boom, I'm scratching this entire philosophy. You look at it as a whole. You ask yourself, you drag yourself through the mud of the bad stuff that you've went through, and you say, do I need to to make adjustments? And the answer is yes a lot of times, and then the answer is no, this is the way it needs to be, and we just got to do it better or coach it better or whatever it is.
Terrible response.
One of the things that you're finding yourself open to changing, and you maintain a lot of your staff to do a lot of the same things. So
where's Howard, man?
And looking outside of that, and Howie, with this situation and the offense, Howard, what was your confidence that instead of the entire ball that you could lead that?
Yeah, you go first.
I think every conversation that we're having is...
You want to go first? Let me back up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you go first.
Yeah, I think every conversation that we're having is about how we can move forward together. And I think the important thing for us to look at is before the stretch, which was a difficult stretch, not
difficult.
The 1-6 stretch at the end. We were
horrendous.
26-5 over the last 31 games. I mean, that's 4 times the amount of games that we played over this stretch. That is hard to do in the National Football League. That is hard to find a head coach in this league who has that record of success. I think we were 33-11 up until that point with Nick. We made the playoffs 3 straight years again.
It's true.
Not okay finishing 1-6. So I'm not sitting up here saying that, but it is hard to find somebody who can do those sort of things. And I think as we go forward, doing this together in a way that continues to get the best possible people we can on and off the field. For me, that's my job to try to make sure that we have that on the field, and my group is as strong as we possibly can get, and I know Nick's committed to that in his group.
I think that is a very interesting approach, the way that he answered that question. That seemed like it was a very professional and confident response. Again, I know that you guys can't see the body language, but you can hear from the diction and just the speech and just like what Nick Sirianni's going through. And I'll tell you this, man. Like I feel bad. Like I definitely do feel bad, because this is what comes with head coaching, right? You need to execute. And if you're playing in Philadelphia, it either makes you who you are or it will tear you down. And right now, Nick, I can tell he's going through so much. Okay. And I'm sure that this is a big learning experience. I want to make sure that I say this because I can criticize him for what he's doing, but I also understand too that he is going through a really tough time. This team made it to the Super Bowl last year. They lose Shane Steichen, and all the weight's now on his shoulders. But I can still yell and complain about stuff that he didn't do because he's not doing his job. But I do feel kind of sorry from a human standpoint, and I hope that he grows from this. I genuinely do. He's not a bad person. I don't want to frame it out that way. He's just not doing a good job. But Howie gave a really interesting response there. It seemed like it was very professional. I thought, to me, it seemed like that, yes, they're trying to look for somebody else, but it doesn't come by, It doesn't come by so quickly. I don't feel bad. He makes a lot of money. Well, I feel bad from him as, from a personal standpoint because I'm sure that he's going through a lot of anxiety and through a lot of stuff. So from just a psychological perspective, I do feel bad about that. But when you're not doing your job and you get paid to do what you're doing and you are just flat out spreading lies to the media, I can critique you at your job. It's like Ben Simmons. When he doesn't want to shoot a basketball, okay, I'm critiquing you at your job. Your job as from a fundamental perspective is to just shoot the ball. If you're afraid of that, then you got to work on it. Because guess what? I can be afraid of doing something, but if I don't take advantage of it, if I don't at least try to take steps forward in trying to do a better job at trying to overcome that fear, I may never overcome that fear. But I need to go down trying. That's the way that I look at it. All right, I'm done babbling. We'll get back to the presser.
When you look at the decision to move on from Brian Johnson, how much of a factor was Jalen? Not necessarily like if you consulted him, but like just as far as making the change and the new offensive coordinator, like how much of a factor is he as far as all that?
Yeah, like I said, obviously, everything we're doing is trying to get our players to perform better and to continue to grow. So the new coordinator, if I'm answering your question right here, the new coordinator is obviously going to be heavily involved in not only he's bringing in a scheme to be able to run, to be able to for us to function in, and that scheme has to be something that our players can function and our quarterback is going to be excel at. And so I'm looking forward to the whoever that is that come in and do those things. As far as and you want there to be comfort with Jalen and whoever is this new coordinator. And so obviously just like I talked to Howie about it, just like I talked to Kevin Patula about it, I'll talk to Jalen about that as well. And some of the things, you're in constant communication with your players, especially your quarterback. And so we'll talk through everything. I'll keep him aware of things that he needs to be aware of. And keep him in the loop of that because that he's our guy and it's really important that those two guys are going to work hand in hand to make sure that we're getting back to where we need to be.
If I could follow up just really quickly, did you have to consult with Jalen about your decision to let Brian go?
Yeah, obviously we talk about everything, and we communicate on everything. We won't get into specific discussions on what we talk about, but yeah, we discuss everything.
What was his reaction to Brian getting dismissed?
Obviously they have a relationship. You'll have to ask Jalen when you get an opportunity to talk to him, but
he asked you.
You have to let people go. We all hurt when we let people go. Every one of us, right?
Didn't he just flat out ask him? What are your thoughts about letting Brian Johnson go? Was that just me? Or was that directed to Jalen? Do you think they will ask about Jalen's health this year? I think that's more of a question for Jalen. I don't know if that's a question for them. But, again, that's another question I would ask, but I don't know if that's directly towards Jalen. Wait, let me go back like really, really quickly and just see if that follow-up question was supposed to be to Jalen or to him about Brian Johnson getting fired. Oh, he asked what Jalen's reaction was. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Again, this is why I have you guys on here.
We'll go. Every one of us, right? This is the worst part of the job, having to let people go. You know, it doesn't just affect the person you let go. It affects the families, and it affects there's a friendship there, like that we have worked together every day for the past 3 years, and we've spent way more time with each other than we have with our families or our loved ones, and you grow close and you grow close bonds. And so, you know, I don't even want to get into what everyone's gonna be hurting from this.
Don't
right?
get
Not
into it.
Not just the guy that got let go, but the friendships that they're not over, but you know, you're not going to see that person every day like you have in the past. And so that's the most difficult part of this business. I feel like if I can explain that on the human side of this thing, like that's the most difficult part of this business, is saying goodbye to friends. You know, and I can't.
Okay, you made your point, dude.
It's the worst part, and I really can't explain to you how shitty it feels when you have to do those things, and everybody feels it, right? The coach to coach, player to coach, and so, like I said, Brian did so many good things, and Mike was talking about the games that we've won, the success that we've had. Brian's a big part of that. We're all sad for what's went down and what's going on right now.
It's atypical to wait this long to speak. How would you characterize those end of season meetings from your perspective? And did you feel you had to sell your vision or sell yourself in those meetings with Jeffrey?
You know, obviously we have those meetings after every year. And we talk about, you know, the progression of the team, where we're going, what we did well, things we didn't do well. And, you know, that was kind of business as usual right there. It was a little, obviously at the end of the game, right, on Monday night, you get back late on Tuesday. Howie explained all that. We have player meetings, right? It takes me about 2 to 3 days to get through every player. Then you're trying to get through every coach. Then you're having the meetings there, and so it's a long process.
I don't care about that question, bro.
We're able to
come on,
answer
media,
a little bit more. And so I mean,
whoa! Breaking news. What's the breaking news? Oh, Denver, you can't do this to me. Vic Fangio expected to become Eagles defensive coordinator during the middle of this press conference. Oh, my gosh. I knew something was going to happen. I knew there was a reason why Howie was late. I knew that there was something to this. Oh, my gosh. Man. They can't hide these things, bro. We're smart. We're not dumb. Just a typical end of the season meeting, no different than any other year. It's just like, now's not the time to ask these questions. It's about the future of this franchise, man. It's about who you're looking for, and what went wrong during the year. But I don't know. Like, do you want to? I don't know. I can't even think right now. Just got the alert from ESPN.
You know why we're meeting right now. But going into the meeting, did you say what you asked again?
With Jeffrey, did you have to sell yourself or sell your vision on how to fix it?
Yeah, again, it was the same. It was business.
Did you have to sell yourself or what? Sorry.
Jeffrey, did you have to sell yourself or sell your vision on how to fix it?
Yeah, again.
Did you have to sell yourself, or do you have to sell the vision on how to fix it? Okay. I didn't understand the question at first.
It was the same. It was business as usual of how we go about an end of year meeting. Obviously.
Sell your vision.
Well, my thought is there, and so it was just normal, Zach. It wasn't anything different than it's been the last 3 years. Now, in my mind, you better believe I'm thinking, how do I reprove myself, right? I was a young coach that like Mr. Laurie and Howie and this organization trusted to give the job to. I had to prove myself that, this guy can lead, the organization like they asked me to. And I had to prove myself from then. And I think that, you asked me that question.
But you failed.
Did I have to sell my vision? No, because again, it was business as usual. But you better believe that I'm thinking after that 1-6 finish, after starting the way we started and doing the things that we've done in the past, that I'm thinking I'm going to prove them right again.
This is straight up gaslighting, dude. Oh my gosh. You're throwing other people under the bus and you're not taking full accountability. Jeez. This is a problem, man. Everything that he is saying today, my gosh, I don't know. I don't know what his PR representatives are telling him. Like, it's just, this is just a joke. This is like the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And I've heard some really weird press conferences, with Matt Klentak and the whole GM of the Phillies. Like, this is a joke, bro. You're throwing other people under the bus, and yet you're not taking full accountability for your actions. That's... I understand, like, what else is new, but, man, just get somebody else. I'm tired of listening to this guy. Per source of Vic Fonigo, released by the Dolphins, pursued by the Eagles. Thanks for that update, dude. I know, like, we're falling behind on this press conference, but see, the thing I like about doing it this way is that I can honestly give you my thoughts, and we can, like, stop and pause, and this is the thing that you can't hear live during press conferences, because I feel like that we really encapture the emotion that we should be feeling, and I think that we all feel right now. I do.
And we're going to prove them right. We got to reprove ourselves. We got to go prove it again. And so that's how I feel right now. That's how I'm attacking this off season. That's how I'm attacking this upcoming season as we get ready for it. Just hungry to be able to prove myself again to Mr. Laurie and the faith that he's had in me, and Howie and the faith he's had in me, and the rest of the team and the city.
Can I just say something? I just want to say something because
all right, Howie to the rescue again. All right, Howie. All right, I want to hear you say something.
I think it's important, Tim, something you said made me think about this, to think about these exit meetings and what the purposes of them are. And the purpose of them is, like everything we do, we're trying to accumulate information. For us to make good decisions, we're trying to accumulate information.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, the decisions are made by us. We understand that everyone has different opinions and perspectives, but we're going to make those decisions. So I say that just in relation to, you asked kind of what Jalen, and that's not fair also to Jalen. He's 25 years old, like Jalen is continuing to grow and get better. And what we see at 25 is going to be a bit different than 26. I'm just using Jalen as an example.
He regressed, though.
And so I think for us, it's also important to understand, like, we accept responsibility. Whatever the product is, at the end of the day, that's on me. That's on coach, and we accept that. So we don't ask the players to make these decisions. We don't ask the other people who work for us to make these decisions. We try to get information, and we try to make the best decisions we possibly can so that the confetti can fall on our head again and we can be world champs again, because that's the only agenda.
That's a mouthful of stuff to say. Good for him for being confident and at least stepping up to the plate and just being able to speak up for Nick and being able to speak up for the players. I have to tell you, I actually really like that from Howie. I thought he was going to say something else that was a little bit more out of left field, but he's sticking up for everybody, and he's doing what Nick Sirianni should be saying. Like, that's what he should be saying, dude. It's my fault. I screwed up. But he's basically saying, if you're listening, yeah, I screwed up, but these other people suck too. Jeez. Good job, Howie. I have to give you flowers, and I'll probably have to listen to this again. I don't really want to, but this is just a live reaction to this presser.
In terms
of improving Jalen, what needs to be done, Nick and Howie, and from Jalen himself to get him back playing like he was in 2022?
That's a great question. That's a good question, media. A+. What do you guys have to do in order to get Jalen back to what he was in 2022? That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, obviously we're all going to have things that we need to work on. And Jalen is no different than any. We all are going to have a look. We're going to all look at the things that from the season and say, we need to work on this or we need to work on that. Without getting into the specifics of that, 'cause like I said, you guys are going to ask me, what about this? What about that?
Get specific.
The one thing I do know about Jalen is, when when there are things of his game that he needs to improve, he goes to work and he does it. He busts his ass to do that.
He does.
I think, you saw I think that there was a lot of questions after that first year about some things about could he be the passer or whatever the questions were. And he came out and put together an MVP type season the following year. Mm-hmm. And just the way he threw the ball, the way he delivered the ball, accuracy, all those different things. He just continues to grow. And I said it last year a bunch, I don't know if we know what this guy's ceiling is because he's going to work and do everything he needs to do to get better. And, for,
I kind of question that now.
11 weeks this year, right? For 11 weeks this year, he was on top of the MVP talk, right? You guys asked about that. And then he was on top of the MVP talk of where he was through 11 weeks. And we all had a bad stretch through the last portion of it. In fact, there were games even though we were in a bad stretch as a team, I thought Jalen was playing really good football. So, but I get it. Me as the head coach, Jalen as the quarterback, we're going to draw the most scrutiny and the most attention and eyes, and we understand that in the seats that we sit in. But I know that the things that Jalen needs to work on and the things that we'll sit down together and talk about. I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to bust his ass to do that because that's who he is. That's who he's been since the day he's got here. That's why he continues to develop in things that maybe people thought was a negative for him in the past that he's made into a strength. So I have no doubt about the person doing that because I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it over and over again.
Okay, next question.
I look forward to him doing it with this offseason.
Next question.
With all the things that we talk about for all of us to improve on.
Okay. All right. Yes. He really didn't deserve to be in that top 5 conversation of MVP, even during those 11 weeks. Again, I had time to reflect on it. A lot of the times, I felt like, the team would stay close, and of course, there was definitely some luck involved, but it didn't seem to me like even when he was getting, some wild reads, he had some nice flashes of passes, but it wasn't as consistent as it was last year. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was with his conditioning or what the heck it was. I feel like something that they're not talking about is he's had knee problems. As weird as this sounds, and I'm not I'm just speculating here. I'm just curious to see if actually the knee had anything to do with him throwing. Because sometimes, when you're twisting and turning, because he's not running the ball as much, because they ran so many reads last year where he would just step up and he would scramble and he would get injured that way. And we said, man, we have a great offensive line, but Hurts has to not get out of the pocket as much. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that may have something to do with it. As weird as that sounds. The knee injury, I think, actually impacted him just from a physical standpoint. And I don't think anyone's really talking about that.
Howie, when you look at what happened this past year, and especially with a lot of noise that were talking about Nick and possibly potentially replacing him from the outside, what gave you the confidence to bring him back for another season and to lead this team?
Because I've seen it been done. I've had the opportunity to work with him, and I've seen what he has done, winning games, put us in a position where we're competing for a world championship, putting us in a position where every year we're in the playoff race and giving us an opportunity with the team to do that. Those things are hard to find. I don't know the stat off my head, but I'm sure there's not more than a handful of teams who've made the playoffs the last 3 years. and it takes all of us. We had a tough stretch. If you go back to when we walked off the field after the Buffalo game and we were 10-1, which, you know, I've talked about that time machine. I would take a time machine to do that. That would be a beautiful thing, but we can't. I think there would be a lot different narrative being told, and we can't lose sight of the big picture. We have a lot of good people on this football team. We got a lot of good players. We got a lot of good coaches. We got a lot of good people in this building. You know, I look around this building, I couldn't be more proud of the people. That doesn't mean we can't fight through adversity. That doesn't mean we can't overcome this and take this back to the level and beyond that we were at last year. It's not going to take a snap of the fingers. We got to work hard. We got to do whatever we can to have the right people, bring in the right people to do that. But we have a lot of those pieces in place. This cupboard isn't even close to bare.
Howie, I'm not letting you off the hook, man. I trust you, and I love what you're saying, and I love the confidence that you're bringing to the table today. But you have got to execute. You really have to really nail this off season, okay? And if the coordinators aren't doing their job, and if you keep Nick Sirianni as your head coach, then I have to look at you. I gave you a pass this year. I didn't think any of it was his fault. He flat out said that Nick made the coaching decision, and Nick admitted to it when it came to the defensive play calling, and that was on him. But now the eyes shift over to Howie and Jeffrey as well. But I'm holding you to your words, man. I really am. All right, we have to catch up on here, dude. Oh, here we go.
It's just like what happened when you had to do a press conference at one time. It's like just fire trade. What was it? It was the fire trade. Oh, was it? Yeah.
It was the fire trade.
Specifically, he will be the top target for the Eagles. Just curious if you can comment on that.
We got a lot of good targets that we're working through. You know, and there are a lot of guys that have done really well in their interview process, and look forward to continue on that process. We'll see what happens.
In all honesty, man, like, these reporters should have a microphone, and I don't know why their audio is just bad. Like, it's not just for this. I'm just saying, like, around the league and around any sort of sporting event, reporters should have the microphone. Like, they should have a handheld mic where everybody can hear it, because everything is virtual now, and I'm sure that it gets a little bit loud in there, and it would probably get louder. But for those people that are on here, you know, that like want to actually hear the question, we got to keep turning. I got to keep fading this up and then fading it back down. They really do need to have a microphone. I'm a little bit tired of that. So I know that was just another little ramble on top of the Eagles stuff.
Staff, the coaches on your staff, all the evaluations been completed, or you think
We're still working, yeah, and that's what's tough, right? You're still working, and there's some guys that are still up in the air. You know, I hate this for them, because we are replacing coordinators, and there's guys that are up in the air, and their families are up in the air, in the sense of, like, I got to get a coordinator in before we make a decision on maybe some of the quality controls or some of the position coaches. I know I believe in the guys upstairs. But, you know, also there has to be an ability for some of the coordinators to bring in, you know, maybe one or two of their guys or more. And so that's still an evaluation process. That's something that might not get sorted out until the coordinator's hired, until that coordinator gets to meet with some of the guys, make sure they can work together. And so that's still a process that we're going through.
Nick, over the years, you've been pretty consistent. You've been pretty consistent with us talking about the offense, whether it's, you know, if Shane's here, it's your offense, calling the plays, Brian, it's your offense. From that's changed, that evolution, any encouragement come from outside, or is that something just coming from you?
Again, I just think that right now we just need to bring some ideas in from the outside, right? And
sure.
And we need to bring a guy in that with new ideas that's not part of this family of coaches. I think that's an important thing. Or even if it is a family of the coaches that has been somewhere else, and then it could be any of that. And so that's important. You know, that's important, and because that's important that you're making sure you always evolve, right? And we are blessed with time, and that, you know, college coaches don't have sometimes because they're recruiting, and we're blessed with how much tape we're able to watch, how much tape we're watching on, you know, prospects, and we see the other college tape and things like that. So
if you're watching tape, okay, how are you not making any sort of adjustments? It seems like every time, every single week, okay, and I don't mean to cut you off, my guy, but if you're making adjustments and if you are watching a lot of tape, why isn't establishing the ground a big part of watching the tape? Does that take rocket science? Why do we have soft coverages out in the secondary when the linebackers and the defensive front aren't able to, you know, attack in the trenches? Yeah, the roster, that's on Howie when it comes to the secondary. But again, you know, you're playing cover 2, cover 3, and all these other things. That should be studied when you're actually watching the tape. So now I question how much tape you actually really are watching because you're not doing your job.
The evolution will not just be of, you know, the things that this new coordinator will bring to the table as far as their scheme and things that we may not know a lot about.
That's funny.
You know, because it is easy to look out and say, oh, I like to do that, like to do that, like to do that, but not know everything there is to know about it. And that's where you're bringing the coordinator in to bring those new ideas. But then we're going to have this time over this next 6 months or 5 months or whatever it is to also study some own ideas ourselves. We'll go to a college. We'll bring somebody in here to make sure we're studying things that we want to learn more about, whether that's something we just want to learn more about, whether that's something that we were deficient in last year. Those will be all the different topics of what our professional development is, and then you also have the things from our offense that we've done well in the past. This will be our offense. This will be the Philadelphia Eagles offense, not whoever, you know, name the coordinator's offense or my name on it or whoever, Kevin Petullo's. This will be our offense, and really look forward to, you know,
show me, Nick,
really evolving the offense and some things that I believe that by the end of the year, you know, got stale, and then we saw the
I believe it got stale. It got stale, dude. Like, I believe it got stale. I believe it got stale. Were you watching the games? This is just funny. Wow. Oh my gosh. I believe it got stale. Is this how you guys are feeling too? Like, am I going crazy? Or is this like, am I overreacting? I don't think I am, but please, like, let me know. I believe it got stale. Gosh.
that ender, you know, got stale, and then we saw the way how that ended, and statistically, you know, you finished positive on a lot of different things, but obviously at 1-6 finish, you know, there was things that got stale, and looking forward to, I really see the beauty of what can happen with bringing in this new coordinator and where our offense can go because of it.
A couple more.
Why did the offense get so stale?
There you go. Good. You asked why did the offense get so stale. That's all I wanted to say. We're actually almost done with this press conference. Thank God. Because, man, give me 1 second. That's a good question. I don't know who's actually asking that question in the freaking, you know, in the media.
Why did the offense get so stale?
Why?
We'll go Zach next.
I'm sorry.
I was saying, why did the offense get so stale? Was it because of quarterback, play calling?
We all have a hand in it. And I'll take in anything that happens on that field will always start with me. I don't care if that's offense, defense, or special teams.
You're not answering the question, Nick.
Be on the front of that, of, you know, where the staleness came from. But we did, you know, there was things that we look at, and, you know, that we can do better, right? And whether that's the pass game, whether it's the run game, whether it's the protections, there's parts of that in all areas that we look at and be like, that wore its course. And that doesn't mean that's the entire offense. It's just portions of it, right? Because you're still going to have staples that are staples for you that can be run against any defense at any time, at any moment. That was just some stale moments of all of those phases of the game that I just mentioned.
Howard, what perspective do you have now of the roster composition? And you've made a few references to wanting to keep playing this weekend, like the team still playing this weekend. How do you think it compares to the team still playing this weekend?
Yeah, I think we've always kind of had our own spin on roster building, and I think that at the same time, I've talked a lot about, if you keep following things as opposed to being at the head of the curve, then you're kind of getting the leftovers. Like, you have to be ahead of it, and I think that when we've had our best teams, we've been ahead of it. And so we continue to study that and try to figure out ways to do that. We study what's successful, what we think will be successful going forward. And I think in roster building, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. I think that, you could look at the 4 teams playing right now, and I promise you we can go over a couple of things they'd like to have back. That's part of it. The most important thing we got to do is we got to have a vision for how we want it to look. We have to have a process that we want to have. And sometimes you can have a vision, you can have a process, and the result's not what you want, And so you got to make sure that you're not overreacting to a result that, maybe just kind of was an aberration in the moment. And then you got to look at, maybe, is the process right? So I think just like coaches going through that, I think that's one of the things we're real about around here. How can we get better? What can we do better to improve ourselves? To me, we're at a point here where the only thing that matters is winning. That's the only thing that matters. The only thing that matters is for us to put out a product on the field that gives us the best chance to win a championship every year. And I know we can do that because we've done it. And we'll continue to work as hard as we possibly can to continue to grow and learn from any adversity we have and do whatever we can to overcome that.
I do have to say, and this is probably going to be like the last question that's coming up, but I do have to say he is right about the roster building, because now is the time where, let's just say, I don't know what the hypothetical is because they have a lot to figure out. Okay, is A.J. Brown going to stay? I was surprised that there's no questions about A.J. Brown. That kind of shocked me a little bit, but with all the reports that have been coming out about him. But this draft coming up, it's a big draft. He needs to go out there. He needs to try to get the best cornerback and the best safety out there, because this secondary flat out stinks. And Howie has not been, he has a track record of not really doing a good job at drafting guys in the secondary, and he's really struggled with that. So I agree with him to that sense, okay, that yes, he does have to make the roster better. And then with A.J. Brown, if A.J. Brown wants out, then you got to try to make the right trade. You can't just sell him for a bag of chips. It has to improve the roster. So I do agree with him on those things, but he is going to have a lot of eyeballs on him. I'm going to tell you, like, the whole world is going to be watching Howie Roseman this offseason, just not even from basically a roster personnel, but just from a coaching staff standpoint too. So it's a big offseason for him as well.
Thanks, folks.
That's it. Nick, did he just sigh? Oh, hold up one sec. Did he just sigh right there?
It's like coaches going through that. I think that's what the best will continue to have and do whatever we can to overcome that.
Thanks, folks.
He did. He sighed. He's like, bro, thank God that's over. Howard wasn't there. I'm surprised. We'll take your phone calls, man, after listening to that hot garbage. Because I again, do want to get your reactions to that. And we'll take a couple phone calls. We're not going to stay on here for too long because I do want to also... how much time have we been on here? Almost like 2 hours. It's been like an hour and a half since we went on, so that's just wild. I still want to talk about the Sixers and do a Flyers cast, but I don't even know if I'm going to have time. I was on here for a really long time today. I might just do the Flyers press conference tomorrow. I really might, because this was a lot to unravel here. So let's make this. I want to get your thoughts. Come on. Let me know what you guys have to say about this. I hope it felt like a gut punch for Nick. I think that it, in some ways, kind of looked like it, but who knows? It could just be like an in the moment type of a thing, and then he just, nothing changes. So I don't know, but whatever. All right, we'll take your phone calls. We're starting the live right now. We'll create the event. There we go. I gotta do the location again. Right, location is the stage call. Event info. Cannot schedule event in the past. Eagles. Wait, what time is it? Oh, it's 4 o'clock. That's why. So we'll make it 4:15. Okay. Great. Awesome. All right. We're copying the event. You can come on here and you can give your thoughts. All right. So we'll start the event now, and come on over here. That was such a. That felt so dreadful. I am so happy that this season is done. I feel like today we are saying goodbye to this season, and it felt like such a big weight was lifted off of our chest, but I was literally at, I guess that the best analogy that I can make right here, it's, I don't know. I don't know. I can't even make an analogy. Again, if you want to come on and give your thoughts, I'll give you guys the floor. I'll wait about another 2 minutes or so just to see if anybody else has anything to say. The biggest thing that I still can't get over is that this guy literally said first thing that he needs to be involved in more defensive team meetings. I don't get it. Darpoo's here. All right, Darpoo, do you want to come on? I haven't seen you in a while, my guy. Thanks so much for coming on here. I'd love to hear what you have to say. That's if you're up for talking. Are you up for talking? If you are, raise your hand. I don't want to put you on the spot. I don't want to do that. Yeah. All right, I'll have to fix out Stream Elements. I don't know what's going on. I'll have to do that. Raise your hand if you want to come on, Darpoo. Again, I don't want to put you on the spot because I know some people don't like that. Anybody else in the chat have anything that they want to say just about this overall press conference? Anybody? Darpoo left. Okay. How many people do we have on here watching, by the way? How many people are on here watching? Let's see. How many people? We got 4 people watching. All right, cool. All right, great. All right, well, that's going to wrap things up, I guess. I think we're going to call it a day. I think that the message was clear. I think that we got everything right. But that's how I feel. I feel kind of, I don't know, a little tired after that, after listening to all that garbage. All right. Oh, well. Keep up with all the Birds action, because we'll still be covering them, but it's going to be a long off season that I'm not looking forward to. Good night. I'll see you all later. We're going to go live. I'll say that we'll go live in about an hour talking about the Sixers, and that's what we'll do. We'll give updates about D'Anthony Melton, everything else that is going on with the Sixers basketball team, and we'll try to boost our spirits, all right? That's what we'll do. The Flyers, there's a lot to unpack, and I don't even know if I can do that tonight. I might just save the Flyers and the Phillies for tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I want us to do something a little bit more positive. So, all right, give me an hour. I'll be back. All right. So I'll talk to you guys later. Denver says, "Is that the usual? It's the usual I have expected. Any more from the team? Vague answers, no tough questions. Bucks. Well, I know. All right, give us about an hour. We'll be back on. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Love you all. Have a good day."